Hey there, Dave here, and today we're talking about the first book in the Outcast Marines, which is Outcasts of the Earth by James David Victor. Now, like I mentioned previously in the stories, I almost didn't get this book. I didn't expect a whole lot from the cover, but it was very intriguing and hooked me right in from the get-go. But since it was up in the top 100, I figured a lot of people must be reading it, so I decided to give it a shot. I wondered what was so intriguing about it, and also because it was in Kindle Unlimited, right? So I'm a Kindle Unlimited user, which means I can read all the books in Kindle Unlimited for free. So I was like, hey, why not? Give it a shot, right? And like I said, it's good. Well, like I said, it's pretty much a space opera about space marines, spaceships, people flying around space between Jupiter and Mars, that kind of stuff, right? But there is an element of mystery to it. So it starts off right at the beginning with a guy who has just killed his best friend and he's getting busted for it, and he goes to prison, except prison for him is being shot off to Titan, one of Saturn's moons, where he's going to work for the rest of his life. Except something happens. But before I get there, let me show you a brief section of the story just so you can see the writing. So here's the prologue. He's in New Kowloon. The year is 2205. Solomon Creedy sat in the small hotel room overlooking Hong Kong's New Kowloon district. Blue neon lights streaming through the blinds with blood on his hands. It shouldn't have gone down like this. The man's dark eyes stared at the red that was flickering with the neon. Okay, you get the idea. I'm not gonna read the whole book to you. I've already read it. Like I said, I was gonna wait to give you, I usually give you my review at the end, tell you what I thought, but I already said right up front that I really liked this book. It really hooked me in, grabbed me in. It had an interesting storyline that carried through all the way to the end. And the mystery is trying to figure out, why he killed his best friend, what happened, everybody rejects him, they're against him, that kind of stuff. So I don't want to give away any big spoilers here, but as you can see, right around the 14% mark in this book, what happens is he thinks he's being shipped off to Titan's moon to work as basically a slave, a prison slave. And instead, when he wakes up from the space journey, he is on Ganymede, a marine training base on one of Jupiter's moons. So bam, that's the big opportunity, right? Instead of going to prison, he has the choice, right, quote unquote, of serving in the Marine Corps, the Space Marines, for 12 years to pay off his prison sentence. And there's a lot of iffiness in here about what the government confederation is doing with these guys, because obviously if they're letting prisoners in, then it's probably not a very safe, a very good program, right? So he starts his training, and obviously he has to develop his skills, find his team. Everybody's against him. The warden hates him because they all think he killed his best friend and he's a traitor. But he is a very good leader, right? He has a potential to become a commander. And so even though the warden is against him, the superiors over him, who aren't directly involved, see a lot of potential and give him more opportunity. So in spite of all the conflict that's going on, that's kind of where the rest of the book goes. They're training until about 75% of the way through when they have their first real mission. So this is where there's another big shift in the book, and they're going out on their first mission. They're not really sure what's going on and why. You can see they're 76% of the way through. This is kind of the setback, the big change towards the end, leading up to Solomon Creedy trying to prove himself to his leaders and hoping he doesn't screw up and get sent off to Titan back on the prison where he was originally going to be shipped off to. So he's made it all the way through the training, the intense suffering, everything they put him through, proven himself so far, and then in this mission, obviously they do the first part, but he has to go above and beyond, and there's the risk of him, going against commands to do what he knows needs to be done. And since the leaders don't know, they think he's in insubordination, yada, yada, yada. You know where that kind of story goes, right? So there's a lot of tense stuff here, but it's interesting. I think it's good, but that's my opinion, right? So I would rate this probably a 4.5. The writing, like I said, was intriguing, captivated me, and drew me right in and kept me going through all the way to the end. This was a short read. I knew it was going to be short going in, so I think they really could have played up a lot more of the things that were going on, and especially around the ending. I think it was kind of cut short, but I think, that's all part of the strategy to get you to read book 2, because it's a series and there are more books. So would I read the second book? Yes, I would. I'm not going to right now just because I've got a lot of other books that are already on my backlist that I want to read, my to-be-read books, so I'm going to get through those. But once I clear those out, I'm going to go back through and take a look at the series and see which ones I want to continue on reading. This would probably be one of the series that I would enjoy reading. Remember, it's a lot of action, soldiers, Marines, that kind of stuff. There's just some interesting characters that he's involved with. He has a mecha, kind of like a cyborg, that he fights with. There's a woman who's a Yakuza Japanese gangster who's on his team. So it's not just a guy thing, but I think guys would probably enjoy this book more than women do. But you never know, if you like this kind of stuff, sci-fi, space marine, I think you'll like it. Good story. So if you've read the book or you're reading it, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. If you're an English student and you have questions about vocabulary or sentence structures, feel free to ask. I like recording videos in the stories to answer questions. I appreciate all the comments and feedback from the last video I did. It was fun, so I'm going to keep doing this for now, and we'll see where it goes. Meantime, don't forget to like, heart it, subscribe to my profile page, follow me, and comment so we can continue the conversation. And as always, I look forward to hearing from you. So once again, this is Dave signing off till the... Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm trying to decide which book to read next, so follow along in my stories and read it with me.